All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus. We're going to look at 10 prospects the Vikings should be looking at this damn combine.
And I hope after this video, we're looking at 10 new subscribers because they hit that button, boop, and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 12K by draft day. We're almost 11K. We're getting close.
Yeah, we got some draft player interviews coming up. Combine all weekend. Free agency on the cusp. Hit that sub button. But Lupagus, why don't you start off with one of your boys here?
Yeah, let's go with Hunter Nourad. He sounds like a Viking with the last name Nourad. And again, I'm trying to go over some deeper options here. I have some more, obvious ones, but I went a little bit deeper here. And with Nourad, I want to see. I know he played guard, center, and mostly center at Penn State. He played it well. This dude's physical. He's tough. He's mean. He's nasty. He plays like a guy named Hunter Nourad should play. But I need to see his lateral agility, his 10 yards play. Can he play guard? Because if he can play both, I think he can project as a guard in the NFL. That stock goes up a little bit higher, and I think you raise them. So you got to figure that out at the combine when it comes to Nourad. But it's strictly as a center. Damn, I love this guy.
Yeah, I was looking a lot at the interior offensive lineman, and I couldn't just peg a guy. I just kind of.
I hope you don't peg a guy.
Well, if it means that he's a perennial Pro Bowler for the next 10 years, anything is possible. So yes, Hunter Nourad sounds like a Minnesota Viking. I'm going with a guy that we've talked about quite a bit, and that's Cam Hart. Cam freaking Hart. I mean, when you hear these draft gurus talk about him, they get damn excited about him. I think Cam Hart is going to come off the board a lot earlier than anybody expects. And the reason that he's on here, he's 6'2", what he runs his 40, and they're saying that he could run it sub 4.4, which would be absolutely insane at his size. And the Senior Bowl, he was definitely getting talked up. And I think after the combine, it's even getting hotter and hotter. I would love for the Vikings to get Cam Hart.
He's so damn good. It wouldn't shock me if he comes off the board in the second round by the time draft rolls around.
Yeah, I mean, he was at one point, they were saying like day 3, whatever. And all of a sudden, yeah, he's going to be a name that will continue to jump up. Here's a hot name.
Yeah, and again, when it comes to pick 11, the Vikings need to do a deep dive on every single option, whether it is a secondary option like a cornerback, defensive back. And Cooper DeJean, I finally watched his highlight tapes the other day, and this dude is so damn impressive. He's so thick. He looks like a safety out there, but that's what I want to see at the combine, his movement skills, his back pedal. Can he project as a corner? If he can be a corner, definitely 11 is worth him because he's so versatile. You can play center, you can play safety, you can play corner with him. But if you strictly think he's just a safety, and I think it knocks him down a little bit. But man, and a punt returner, this guy is so damn good. His instincts are just so impressive when he sniffs out those passes coming to the receivers and jumps those routes. So Cooper DeJean, how he runs, how he looks in those drills, I think is key to decide if he can be a corner or safety or both for the Vikings.
Yeah, he's like magical. He's magical. I mean, he's like the perfect college defensive back. Everything he did was fantastic. You're right. I mean, if he's like a safety / corner, what are they going to do with him? And we kind of already got a guy like that in Metellus. We'll see. I'm going to be very curious to see when he goes, because I think he could go way earlier than anybody expects. He better not go to the Packers. That's all I'm saying. I think it'd be very surprising if the Vikings went with him, but he's always got the Packers mock drafts. It's always the Packers, and that would suck.
This cornerback group as a whole, this combine is going to be huge because all these guys, it's kind of like pick your preference. What do you want when it comes to the corners? And I think the combine will definitely shuffle out that order a little bit, maybe separate some guys from the pack.
I think he's going to end up being a safety. He
looks like it. God, he looks like it.
Jaylen Wright. We just heard Kwesi talk about running backs and Kevin O'Connell basically saying, they're definitely going to take a look around at the running back position. They did talk up Ty Chandler quite a damn bit, which I was surprised about, but at no point did they say he is the guy. So running back Jaylen Wright has been a guy that has definitely tickled my parts quite a bit. We know he's powerful. He's tough. Again, I'm very curious to see what he looks like in drills and that 40 time, what it comes down to. I mean, he averaged over 7 yards a carry. He's another guy running back wise, I think is going to go sooner than later. And when you look at perfect scenarios, like with Jaylen Wright, Vikings are listed as a perfect offense for him to just slide right into for first down after first down.
Wow. I'm already getting a little chafe just thinking of that. Yeah. Brandon Dorlus. Here's a guy, again, second round option, maybe third, depending on where you look at him. I don't know what he is. Like, you see him listed as an edge somewhere? You see him as a defensive end. I've seen him even as a defensive tackle. So what is Brandon Dorlus? Put him through the drills, see how he moves, and then kind of figure out what can we do with this guy. He's going to be versatile, but if he ends up going in the draft and no one really knows what to do with him, That to me is the head scratcher with Brandon Dorlus. You look at the second round, the Vikings do go with the quarterback, let's say JJ McCarthy 11. You got to find someone who rushed the passer. Can Brandon Dorlus be a true edge? To me, I kind of lump him up with Darius Robinson at this point as a guy who maybe is both, but not a true either defensive end or edge. And I think the combine, you got to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, we see that pretty much every year, like defensive end / edge. Where are they going to play him? What are they going to do with them? Just remember, we got Brian Flores, baby. Brian Flores is going to put him in a spot to succeed. I got to be honest, I don't know dick about Brandon Dorlus.
Oh yeah, no, I've been keeping an eye on this guy. He's again, if there's a run on edges in your second round, you need someone. I want to know everything I need to know about Brandon frickin' Dorlus.
God, I hope it's not round 2. Maybe I'm going Jordan Jefferson. The main reason I put him on here is like LSU. It seems like their whole defensive line is going to get drafted. I mean, when you look at LSU, it's Mason Smith, it's Makai Wingo. And Jordan Jefferson is just a guy that kind of gets lost in the shuffle. And every time you're doing a mock draft, he's always there in the later rounds. But Jordan Jefferson did a little more digging on this guy. Full on run stuffer. The dude's a monster. He's athletic. He's huge. What was he? He is 6'2", 323 pounds of run stuffing beef. That's what I put. And when you watch him, that's exactly what he does. He comes in, he's got big upside, takes on double teams, and he's a run stuffer. He will stop the run. He might not get you 5 sacks, but he's gonna stuff the shit out of that run.
Yeah, and I think he got in a fight at the Senior Bowl. He was the one throwing his helmet, I believe, with Jordan.
Good.
Maybe he threw his opponent or his guy he was blocking his helmet, but he had a little hissy fit there. But he liked that. I want a big old man who's got some edge to him, who's got some anger in his blood.
I think I think if I was a betting man, I would say we're going to end up with one of these LSU defensive linemen.
Well, we got one last year. His name is Jaylen frickin' Roy.
Not great.
Again, Laiatu Latu, another option at 11 that you need to know everything about. I know the Vikings got a good look at him at the Senior Bowl. Hell, he's even coached by our outside linebackers coach, which is great. But the question, I know the medical is a big thing with Latu, and that's going to shake itself out, and you probably won't get results in that till just before the draft. But the other knock on him is just his athleticism. Like, he's a little bit stiff. He's more of a technician, explosive off the ball. How is he going to move in these drills? Can he look fluid enough? Because I think you did the expert mock. It was kind of a worst case scenario as far as the edge rushers there, and Latu was kind of your best option. And you weren't sold at taking him at 11. I'm not right now either. And to me, it's the athleticism from him. I just don't see it. He's just so stiff when it comes just to his movement skills. So if he looks good and moves around, then I think he can be a viable option for the Vikings at 11 if some other guys are off the board.
Like I said, I think you would just be settling for him. Like obviously, I would assume the Vikings probably would want Verse and Turner over him. Mm-hmm. Like, just to take him and those other guys gone, I'd feel yucky. I'd feel dirty. I'd want to trade back, or I would want to take him before one of those guys, so I would know that he was our guy.
Yeah, you got to love this guy, and you got to be okay with everything about him.
All right, I'm going Jamari Thrash, the Louisville wide receiver, 6 foot, $185. And the reason I love this guy is everything you see, everything you read, he's a route technician. And that's what I always love about these mid-round wide receivers, guys that you can just plug and play. A route technician, polished, smooth, and a burner. Not a burner, but he's got deep threat. That's the weird part is they always talk about it. He's not like the fastest guy, but when his bread and butter is the deep ball. So he just makes it happen. So I'm curious to see what he runs. I'm curious to see him in his drills. But Thrash has been a guy that we see a lot in our comments. Like, everybody loves Jamari Thrash. And again, I'm not saying he's going to come in and go for that number 3 spot, but I bet he could come in and as a rookie, be out there quite a bit. We need a receiver.
Last name being Thrash have anything to do with the interest in him?
No, the interest was more on the comments when we were doing mock drafts. Everybody was saying, like, what about Thrash? What about Thrash? And finally, I'm like, all right, who's this Thrash dude? And he's actually projected to go pretty damn high.
Yeah. And so is this guy, JJ frickin'
All your guys are
McCarthy.
round 1 guys.
No, not Brandon frickin' Dorlus. Or Hunter Nourad. JJ McCarthy. He's going to throw. All right. Let's see the deep throws. And then let's see him with consistency and accuracy. That he never was asked to do it much at Michigan. You got a team that's conservative, runs the football, does it over and over and over again. He didn't have to be the guy. So, number 1, throwing that deep ball, throwing the deep outs. How does he look? Can he do it? Can he do it consistently? Put him on the chalkboard. See his smarts. See what he knows about running an NFL offense. And then I expect him, as far as his workouts, if he does run and do everything, he should blow it out of the water. The dude's an athlete. He should measure in around 6'2", I think he is. I'm curious to see what his weight is. But again, to me, it all comes about how he throws the football and can he do it with accuracy? Because I think he has a chance to solidify himself in the eyes of everybody as a legitimate top 15 pick in this draft.
Yeah, I think this one more comes down to him on the chalkboard. Like, I think everybody knows he can throw the ball. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's going to come down to the smarts, and I think he's going to knock the socks off these GMs as far. I mean, he's playing with Jim Harbaugh. The dude's going to talk the talk. He's going to know what he's doing, and we're not going to see any of that. But I think that's where he's going to wow everybody.
I think he's going to be one of the guys who really, really just blows this thing out of the water, top to bottom.
Well, I got a quarterback on the list, and I think it's either going to go real good or real bad. And Bo Nix, like it's just a mixed bag with this guy right now. I mean, he's not at the highest part of where he should be right now as far as the steam. And he is going to be doing everything. He's going to be throwing the ball, and I think this one comes down to more how he throws the ball for me. Like, I want him to either do really, really bad, just so we can just move on and be like, all right, we're not taking Bo Nix, or just light it up. None of this in-between shit. Like, it was fine.
Well, it's weird with Nix because he didn't have a great Senior Bowl, but didn't seem to affect his stock. You see all these big-time mock draft guys putting him in, pick 12 to the Broncos, or like, I don't get what he has to do to hurt himself. And a lot of people he's already like this polarizing player when it comes to our viewers. Some people just hate Bo Nix, and I don't really understand why. I mean, I like parts of his game, and yeah, but you said it. Like, right now, you're kind of hanging on that fence. Like, is he maybe an option at the end of the first round? But I think we can figure that out with how he performs at the combine, whether he's worth. I'm not thinking about him at 11, but trading back up in round 1 for. And again, one way or the other, knowing yes or just absolutely no would be kind of reassuring.
I just can't see, and I always say it to last year, like how Will Levis could fall to round 2 and Bo Nix doesn't. Like, Will Levis was much more highly touted. More ready when it comes to a Bo Nix. So I'm not buying into the top 20, really even first round for Bo Nix.
Yeah, just weird. It's just weird that he wasn't like universally lowered after his Senior Bowl performance.
He's got the gift. Those are our 10 guys at the combine that we'll be watching. Let us know who you will be watching. And hopefully you're watching all damn weekend.
Yeah, remember this, guys, during watching the combine. Back in 1949, Steve Henson invented ranch dressing while working in the Alaska bush. He was a plumber.